Also at 6, the president, proud of his supreme choice.
Brett Kavano has gotten rave reviews, actually from both sides.
And this judge has some history with the Sunshine State.
He stepped forward at a very difficult time in the Elian Gonzalez litigation.
7 News with his South Florida connection.
7's Joe Rhodes is live in our nation's capital with all the details on this. Joe.
While Brett Kavano was here on Capitol Hill today, walking the halls, meeting with lawmakers, shaking hands, pressing flesh, trying to seek out his confirmation, his real work began years ago across the country with cases, many of them high profile and some with South Florida ties.
Mr. President, thank you.
Long before Brett Kavano surged onto the center stage as a Supreme Court justice nominee, he was a federal appeals court judge, and before that, an attorney, one with ties to South Florida.
Well, he's an absolutely brilliant legal mind and one of the best legal writers in America today.
Former U.S. Attorney Kendall Coffee knows Kavano and the way he works.
One way or another, he's going to have a huge impact on the future of the United States Supreme Court.
Coffee working alongside Kavano in the later stages of the Elian Gonzalez saga nearly 20 years ago. After the young boy's mother drowned trying to get him to the United States, an international battle erupted over whether he could stay with relatives in the U.S. or go back to his father in Cuba. Kavano trying to keep Gonzalez here, challenging how much power the courts give federal agencies.
In the final analysis, Elian was sent back to Cuba because the federal courts decided that a federal agency, Immigration and Naturalization Services, should have the final say.
It was a fight South Florida Representative Ileana Ross-Lehtinen was a part of. Though she never met Kavano, the two working parallel paths to keep Gonzalez stateside.
Kavano represented the Elian's family in Miami, and I got to know all of those family members, and I'm glad. It says a lot about him that he really had the best interest of Elian at heart.
While he lost that case, Kavano won another in 2000, representing then Texas Governor George W. Bush at the Supreme Court over a Florida vote recount in the presidential election.
He was on the other side of the recount litigation, and he and his team did a brilliant job there, too. And, of course, George W. Bush became president.
Because of Kavanaug's work,
they decided who was going to be president of the United States.
Another Florida tie to the case of Terri Schiavo, a right-to-die controversy that gripped the nation. Her husband claiming Terri would not want to be saved after suffering from cardiac arrest, then severe brain damage, and left comatose for years. Her family pushing to save her.
The right thing to do is to save Terri's life.
In 2005, Congress passing legislation to keep Schiavo alive, and Kavanaugh was reportedly the one who woke then-President George W. Bush up to sign the bill. In the end, courts ruled in favor of Schiavo's husband, and she passed away in March of that year. Even with those South Florida connections, Kavanaugh is considered by many to be a Washington insider and a safe bet for President Trump. Now, the White House does want him to be confirmed by October 1st. That is the start of the next Supreme Court session and, of course, is ahead of the midterm elections. But no date has been set on any hearings. We're live in Washington, D.C. Joe Rhodes, 7 News.